was going to ask, how's this week of preparation? Short week against a different opponent than you might have expected a week ago. How has that been different from normal?
Well, Coach Traylor's been telling us to, anticipate things like this happening during this year. And so I thought our coaching staff and our support staff handled it great. Been real pleased with the way we practiced and prepared on a short week for a very difficult opponent to prepare for. They're very multiple, very aggressive, create some challenges schematically with how aggressive they are. And so we've had a short time to get after that and take a look at it and dissect it. And I think we've made some good strides this week.
Is the scouting and game planning process fundamentally different because of that, or do you just kind of make up for lost time somewhere along the way?
Yeah, you just try to make up for lost time, and you just kind of go on, this will be the third opponent in a row that we played that, we've been able to at least watch, one game of this season, and we've used some film from last year on all these opponents, but ultimately each season, each off season coaches, reshape, retool, small little things. And then it's been important for us to, the Middle Tennessee Army game was really not very beneficial for us from a schematic standpoint because what Army does on offense. And so this last week at Troy was a little bit more helpful to be able to see them play recently, see their personnel for this year, see the tone and the types of, different spins on his scheme that they have on defense. And so I think it's been helpful to at least have one game for the year.
Given the circumstances, do you think that you guys will keep things pretty simple schematically on offense, or do you think we might see some changes this week?
I wouldn't think that you would see anything to the naked eye that you would notice that's significantly different. Sure. I mean, there's going to be some spins and some different, paint some different pictures by doing the same thing schematically, which will just kind of be the case week to week. And so, with a limited week and with a difficult defense, you don't have a lot of time to, cast a broad net. You got to be really focused on what you're doing schematically and give your guys a chance to learn what's going on and get comfortable with the spots that they're going to be blocking and the spots they're going to see during the course of the game. So I wouldn't anticipate there being a drastic difference in what we've been doing.
You mentioned that they'll be kind of multiple on defense. How do you go about exposing the players to all of that without sort of overloading them?
Well, you just got to start doing it. You just got to start throwing the mud on the wall early in the week and a little bit sticks. And then the next time they do it, hopefully a little bit more sticks. And by the end of the weeks here, we still have 2 more walkthroughs basically left, several more meetings left between now and then. And so now it turns into they've seen it physically, and now it turns into how we're going to handle it mentally between now and game time. And are we going to stay focused? Are we going to continue to get mental reps on these looks and anticipate using the film to cast the vision of what we're going to see and how we're going to block it? And so you just kind of keep throwing mud on the wall throughout the week, and hopefully by get to game time, a lot of that mud is stuck to the wall, and we're going to be comfortable with what these guys are doing.
Hey, JJ.
Hey, Coach, would you Coach Nix was just saying this Middle Tennessee team is probably the most talented team you guys have faced so far this season. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, they're a conference opponent, that's going to have very similar talent to what we have on our roster. I think they've, obviously what, Middle's accomplished over the years, the stability and the frequent number of wins and bowl games that they've achieved. Absolute, but I know that they've got a good, very experienced coaching staff, and they've had a culture there for a long time of winning. And I know they've gotten off to a little bit of a rough start, but they played an Army team that's really good and a Troy team that's really good too. And so I know that our guys understand that we've got a great challenge ahead of us, and we expect it to be a battle on Friday night.
Coach Traylor mentioned that the play of the offensive line this past week wasn't up to standard. What can they do better?
Well, we just got to be in, obviously the first thing is you have to eliminate the mistakes that have nothing to do with the defense. Listen, y'all have heard me say this before, and it's nothing profound, but listen, offensive football is, and football in general, but offensive football is hard enough as it is when you have to play a defense. and block their blitzes and their stunts and their alignments and, and their different coverages. It's a chess game. Football's hard enough as it is, but when you complicate it with your own and self-inflicted wounds and mistakes that have nothing to do with the defense, like we did the other day, it makes football really hard, offensive football really hard. And that's what we did the other day. We were facing a well-coached team in SFA that had some talent, and we contributed to a lot of our mistakes. So that's where it's got to start, JJ. We've got to purge the self-inflicted mistake, not beat ourselves. We got to handle all the pre-snap stuff, all the stuff that happens before the snap. We've got to do a better job in that area, and then let our physical abilities play. And so it's not just the O-line. It was all position groups across the board that's got to cinch it up. We got to play tighter with more discipline and detail, and make sure that when we snap the ball, that we're all on the right page, because then physically it becomes a great challenge against defenses.
We saw Lowell come into the game in your heavy run package. Can you just talk a little bit about that? And then what does it mean to be able to run out the last 6 minutes of a game clock like that, the way you guys did?
Well, that package was something that we had prepped for during fall camp and we're ready to do in the week one. The situation just never really arose. It never came up during that game. Although in hindsight, we probably could have used that package in the 4-minute opportunity we had against Texas State. But our players have a lot of confidence in Lowell. He has a great deal of respect, as do our other quarterbacks as well. But that's something that you can take a guy that's big and strong like that and tough. And that not only is can he run the football down the hill, but this guy started a lot of games at quarterback, was in the mix for the starting quarterback job, made some spectacular throws during fall camp. A guy that can throw the football. So this isn't just get up in the line of scrimmage and just, do a rugby scrum with him. I mean, we've got offense surrounded that. Now, we didn't need to use it the other day, but it's something that we can build upon that package. One of the positives from the other day is we were able to run out the clock with the ball in our hand, which we failed to do the previous week. And so something that we really stressed hard with our guys is 4-minute offense, being more efficient with the clock and getting the chains. We'd love every game to have the opportunity to end the game with the ball in our hand. That's a positive if we have the opportunity to do that. I don't know how realistic that is, but we're striving and talking and emphasizing all the time, especially even today, our 4-minute opportunities that we've got to capitalize on.
All right, Greg.
Coach, how quickly did Lowell take to that role? I know he obviously had aspirations of being the starting quarterback and getting to throw the ball around a bit. How did he adapt to this new position and respond to that?
Yeah, he took to it like a duck takes to water, Greg. I mean, he's just an unselfish guy. He wants to help the team win. He's got a great heart and a great soul. And sure, I mean, there's no doubt that's not ideally what he wants to be doing, but he wants to make an impact on the game, and he certainly can and will in those opportunities. But he took to it real quickly, and more than that, our team took to it very quickly, and they responded very well. And we said, this is what we're going to do. It's not just Lowell, it's also Miles Benning in that package as well. That's a super well-respected player on our team for all the right reasons. And both of those guys epitomize what we're trying to do culturally here about being unselfish and being mentally and physically tough and reliable. And those guys just epitomize that. And so they earn the right to have a package and a way to impact our football team offensively. And so hopefully it's something we continue to grow with and grow. And they can impact the games positively moving forward.
Last week we talked about how many carries is the right amount for Frank Harris, and you said kind of 8 to 10. He ended up getting, I believe it was 17 in this game. But were you happy with how he was able to minimize contact, or is that like a point of concern going forward? Yeah,
for sure. No, not a concern at all. I mean, that football's football, and we don't want to put our guy in peril and run quarterback power and all this stuff that's super designed inside the box where you're just going to take hits. Now we certainly have opportunities schematically to do that. And are going to do that at times during the year. But, I think he has a pretty good knack about feeling pressure, and, he's quick and can escape, and he's smart, and our guys are doing a good job on the perimeter. But no, I mean, I would say that game could have easily been 6 carries if maybe we would have stayed in the pocket a little bit more, maybe have protected here or whatever. I mean, several of those were scrambles in the passing game, and several of them were, read zones where it could be given to the back just as easily as it could be being pulled. And so, does that get a little high? Yeah. But is that something that we're concerned about? No. He's one of our better players, and we want the ball in his hand, as many opportunities as we can within reason.
How much have you talked to him through practice through the year about the need to get out of bounds or to get down when a big hit is coming to protect himself in that way?
Yeah, we just not much, just in passing, just when it presents itself. Hey, listen, protect yourself, let's get down, get the yards. I think he's got a really good feel for that. I think that's smart, the way he handles himself. The competitor in him would want him to probably take on those things, but in the big scheme of things, he's our quarterback right now, and we need to be smart when we get in those situations. I think he's got a really good feel for it.
Overall, how would you evaluate the downfield passing attack against Stephen F. Austin?
Not where we need to get. The first one down the field we hit, and Josh made a really nice play. We anticipated doing that several more times, and we got 3 or 4 of them. I had some calls that were less than desirable probably for this coverage shell that they were doing. They played a little bit more cover 2 than we'd anticipated, and so that's something that we worked hard on during the week leading up to the game last week, and thought it would show itself more. I think it showed itself enough that it was beneficial for our team. But that's something that we certainly got to continue to improve and emphasize and protect. And it's all 11 guys in that regard. And so that's something that we've worked on this week, and we'll continue to work on every week, because any offense that wants to be any good has to have the ball thrown vertically and horizontally and has a run game. And we're trying to be balanced, and we've got to continue to strive for more balance.
Is there any part of that equation that's particularly needing to improve to get that vertical passing where it needs to be, whether it's the passing?
I don't think so. I think it's just everybody. I really do. I think it's, from me and on down, it's just getting all 11 guys on the same page and continue to iron out throwing the football. We work hard at throwing the football down the field in practices because we know that if you want to do it in a game, you just can't wish that to happen, and our receivers do a great job of competing for those deep balls in practice, even when we're on air, and we're getting better and better at it. And so I think that there's going to be a point pretty soon that's going to benefit us.
Hey, JJ, why don't you wrap us up?
Barry, were you was SFA stacking the box? Do you worry about these defenses since you're such a dynamic, athlete, that they're going to just stack the box on you guys? And how do you kind of combat that?
Well, I think they did a really good job, SFA, and what good defenses do, and is they keep you guessing a little bit. There was times they loaded the box on first down. There was times that they played cover 2, with 2 high safeties, but they had a good plan when they did that interiorly, because they twisted their front a lot. They were very disruptive. Each week takes its own shape, for sure. I mean, people know that we can run the football, or that we've got ability to run the football. It's not like, we obviously didn't dominate the game the other day physically in the run game, but I think they have our opponents have a respect for what Frank and what Sincere can do in the running game. And so each week takes its own course. Each team has a different philosophy and strategy. Each team will approach us differently. We just have to be able to adapt and adjust as the game goes on. But yeah, I mean, I think as a rule of thumb, that people are going to challenge us to throw the ball on the perimeter, and try to make us play left-handed, so to speak, or I guess in our case, right-handed, so to speak. And so, that's just something that we have to have a plan for, and we work hard to plan for those situations.
And then lastly, Barry, what about the atmosphere in the Alamo Dome? It was kind of weird. I know it affected you guys a little bit. What kind of changes or preparations are you guys doing to help combat that?
Well, I was in the box, and so I wasn't as in tune with it, but I can see now, in hindsight, how it was a little bit different. I think our guys had a lot of energy the day before the game. We went to the Dome in practice, and man, it was an incredible atmosphere as far as the field, the paint, the turf, the stadium, the sound effects that they had going, the hype video. I mean, it was like, man, let's get ready for our first game at home. And then it is what it is right now, right? I mean, it's everywhere across college football, NFL football, Major League Baseball. It's just different. And, it probably took our guys some getting used to. And I think it'll be a lot better this week from the standpoint our guys will know what to anticipate. But at the end of the day, we've got to bring our own energy. Coach talked about that. We've got to bring our own energy, whether you go on the road or you go on home. It's similar to going on the road in some ways, just from an environment standpoint. But, man, I tell you, the ones that showed up for us were loud. They were into it. We appreciate them. We hope to see more this week and more of the same as far as the people that are in the stands there to support the runners. That, you know, we can give them something to really cheer about and from start to finish in the game. But we've got to bring our own energy.